And what's going on, everyone? I want to walk you around and show you some of my artwork that I've been working on for the last, I don't know, 6 years. I mean, of course, I started in my teenage years, and I have some artwork from my teenage years, but, but anyway, some of this is from the last 6, but this is a 16 by 20. It's a jazz, kind of a cartoonish jazz musician. There's a Johnny Cash caricature playing guitar. Here's a baseball player that I did. There's a lot I haven't hung up yet. No, this I just did a drawing and a little paint, watercolor paint of Johnny Depp from Benny and June. So this is I always loved the film Benny and June. And that's a Jim Morrison I did years ago. I mean, I don't know, 5 years ago. There is my Salvador Dali. I want to frame that actually as soon as I can. There's a devil. These I love a lot. They're obviously abstract paint where I just took paint. It took a lot of paint. I spent probably a lot of money making them. This is a thick 3-dimensional canvas that I did this one on. This is a 20 by 20. I could be wrong. Well, nevertheless, it's a good sized canvas. It's really, it feels good, feeling, at the touch because it's just thick and has a cool feeling to it. They all do. This is a smaller one. I think that's a 12 by 12 and also another 3-dimensional canvas. And this is a even smaller 3-dimensional. This might be a 10 by 10. I call it Inside the Mind of Tim Burton. Well, that's Inside the Mind of Tim Burton 1, and this is number 2. I don't know. When I see it, I don't know. I think Tim Burton, just because of all the colors and the crazy look of it all. Now, this is a gel pen drawing I did called Weathered by Life and Saved by Scotch. An elderly man sitting at a bar. I loved how I did the bar, and I actually used marker, maybe watercolor markers to do the bar, but I did I did the outline with gel pens, and I've used a little bit of marker to do a little of the shading and numerous other things. But anyway, I'm a huge basketball fan, and I've always loved. Even though I'm a UNC fan, I love UNLV and Jerry Tarkanian and his legacy. And the early 90s UNLV Running Rebels were one of my favorite teams ever. And anyway, that's a cartoon picture of Jerry Tarkanian. This is one I love called The Sadness of the Holocaust. Obviously, you can look at it with a barbed wire behind and something to remember, even though it's a sad memory of our history in the 1940s, but it's worth capturing in an art piece, I believe. This is a character I come up with called Tapehead. Tapehead in a suit. And I'm sure other people have thought of the same thing, but anyway, nevertheless, I thought it was kind of funny and a good little art piece. This is an Abraham Lincoln. This was a black chalk pastel that I did. There's A Nightmare Before Christmas. And these are some of my oil abstracts that I'm very proud of. And there's a monster I did, and that's an acrylic. Kind of a little monster. And here's another monster playing guitar. This kind of makes me think of a kind of a Rob Zombie video. Okay. There's